And welcome everybody. If you do me a huge favor and give me a chat just to confirm you can hear my voice, and we'll start here in about 10 minutes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome, welcome. I've got some temporary internet access through T-Mobile. I want to say thank you for their solution. I'm getting a fixed antenna next week, so it'll be even better. And thanks for joining me today. It'll be really fun to go through this quiz. I think we had like 6 or 7 questions. If you watched the video yesterday on next generation firewalls, you are going to be mostly up to speed and ready. If you haven't seen that video yet, it's about 30 minutes. I would schedule some time for it in the near future. It'll help you with your CCNA regarding the role and responsibilities of a next generation firewall. All right, we are going to start here in about 30 seconds. Buckle up. All right, and here we go. Next generation firewalls. And here is question number 1. It is multiple select. Which of the following are indeed truly next generation firewall features? All right. Indeed, those are all features of the next generation firewall. And here is question number 2. It is also multiple select. And here it is. Which 2 features allow the next generation firewall to determine the difference between Google Mail and Google Calendar? All right. Indeed, application layer inspection gives us the ability to see what the heck's going on at the application layer as far as what's being carried. And if it's using HTTPS, the firewall without the SSL decryption won't be able to see it. So those 2 features are what allows that to happen. Okay, here we go. Onward and upward. Here is question number 3. Why does reply traffic not need to be explicitly permitted on a next generation firewall? And if you have not answered already, there's a little clue in the graphic. All right. Stateful inspection is indeed the mechanism on pretty much any firewall today, including next generation firewalls, where when the traffic is initially permitted and allowed through, the firewall remembers the state of that session. And then any reply traffic is dynamically and, without any explicit rules, allowed back in so the client can get the response. Also, right after this live quiz, we'll be hanging out in the CCNA voice room on Discord. There's a link for that in the description of this video. So if you're participating in the live event and you want to join us in the Discord server to follow up with any questions, I'll see you there right after. All right, let's take a moment and see who's on the leaderboard. And Groovy Owl with 6,626 points. And that is amazing. Great, great, great. And look at this. Up 12 places. Wonder Leopard is the highest climber. You're doing great. Let's continue on. Here's the next question. Which of the following could be stopped by a next generation firewall denial of service policy? And here's question 5. I did have my mic muted there for a moment. Sorry about that. Oh, thanks, guys. I was saying earlier with my mic muted, I was saying that Dan was right earlier when he commented that you can't prevent a DOS attack. You can only hopefully remedy or mitigate the results of a DOS attack. So spot on. And for this question, how can a next generation firewall act as a man in the middle when users are going to secure websites? Is by using the SSL/TLS decryption, which is absolutely needed if you want the next generation firewall to be able to see what's really going on and to enact its policies. Also, right after this quiz, this live quiz, I'll be in the Discord server hanging out there in the voice room for CCNA. If you want to follow up on any of these questions or discuss anything we've talked about here in the live quiz, join me there right after. There's a link in the description of this video. All right, here we go. We have just a couple more questions left. Groovy Al is still grooving. Here is question number 6. Which traffic needs to be explicitly permitted in policy on the next generation firewall? All right, the initial flow of traffic, and that's because the firewall is stateful. So the reply traffic doesn't have to be explicitly specified in policy. Great job. Also, there's a video that I released yesterday that is about 30 minutes, goes over next generation firewalls. It's more than what you'll need to know for the CCNA, but it's a great overview of how next generation firewalls work, including a few examples. And also, let me bring up a photo real quick. In fact, I'll bring it up during this last question and I have a photo I want to share with you right after this final question. And here it is. Question number 7. For all the marbles, it is multiple select. Which elements on a firewall should be checked when we're doing troubleshooting? And I'm looking for 3 answers. So just look for the one that doesn't apply as much and choose the other 3. All right. Well done. Well done. The term I use is R&R. Rights, address translation for NAT, and also routing. If those 3 things aren't working, that's usually the problem with basic functionality for the firewall. So let me share with you a picture. I'll maximize it here. So this is a picture outside my garage. That's from the other day. I have a new one. Let me find you the new one real quick. Hold on a second. I think you'll like it. So I'm looking for alternatives that can be reliable for internet connectivity, and then I'll load balance across them once I have them. Let me see if I have the updated one. Thanks for, oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Don't tell T-Mobile. But that is a T-Mobile home internet device. I watched a couple YouTube videos, got the right tools, disassembled it. These are the two antennae for 5G, and I moved them. I got the app out, adjusted them, moved them around again to get the best possible signal I could for this live stream. And then this week, I have some external antennae. I think antenna are plural, called antennas. I don't know. If it's on an animal, I think there's a different rule than if it's not an animal. Anyway, I have some additional external antennae that I'm going to have installed on the roof and then position them. I've got one that's directional. I have one that's omnidirectional, and I'm going to wire effectively these external antennas for LTE and for 5G, and then run them back in the house and have this mounted somewhere where it's protected. But I want to give my hat off to T-Mobile. This is my current speed. It's just this one computer that's connected Wi-Fi to this thing in the garage, and I have the garage door open for every possible signal. Oh, you don't want to see that. No, you don't want to see that. All right. So, again, it's in very hard circumstances. My home is kind of in a little dip, and I don't have line of sight from the garage. I will from the roof to a tower. Anyway, that's what's going on with my internet. Okay, so thanks for looking at that. Thanks for participating today, and let's take a look at the podium. Here it is. All right, Groovy Al, Clever Pelican, Lively Urchin, and everybody who participated, great job. If you are new to Next Generation Firewalls, the video I made yesterday, I think, is a very good introduction to the basic concepts. I demoed FortiGate and also a Palo Alto, although Checkpoint and Cisco's FTDs are also fantastic. So check those out. Check out that video if you have a chance. And I would love to get some, look at that. It's a record. Look at this. We've done this for almost 2 years, and I don't recall ever seeing this come up, where it usually shows me the hardest questions where people had a really tough time. Every question was answered correctly by most players. That's more than 50%. Fantastic work. So good. So good. All right. So here's what I would love to do. I will send you out with some music, and in the next 4 to 5 minutes, if you want to jump over on Discord, I'll be hanging out in the CCNA voice room, and it's just an open discussion. I would ask, though, that if you're going to not ask a question, just leave your mic muted. And then when you want to ask a question, just unmute, ask the question, and we can elaborate on anything that was in this quiz or whatever you happen to be studying on CCNA. So my appreciation for joining me today, and let me go ahead and say goodbye. See you soon.
What you're putting in.